Q-Proof 51, the Saudi Purge. We start with Q-Drop 57 from November the 2nd, 2017. Senator McCain and others roundly criticized Representative Michelle Bachmann in 2012 when she and 4 members of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence and the House Judiciary Committee cited Miss Abdeen in letters sent to the Inspectors General of the Department of Defense, Department of State, Department of Justice, Department of Homeland Security, and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, warning about Muslim Brotherhood infiltration of the United States government. Why is this relevant? Who took an undisclosed trip to Saudi Arabia? What was the purpose of a face-to-face versus a phone call? Alice and Wonderland. Then we saw in Q-Drop 67 from November the 3rd, 2017, where Q asked, where did the 18 billion from Soros go? Why? Can it be used by bad actors, escape, bribes, rogue contracts, etc.? Slush fund. Did the United States government seize, stop, track other slush funds that prevent or create risk to operate? Why did Jared Kushner travel to Saudi Arabia recently? What is Saudi Arabia known for? Where do the biggest donations originate from? Why is this relevant? What else is relevant with Saudi Arabia? Safe harbor? Port of transfer? Why was there a recent smear campaign against Jared Kushner and POTUS? Why is the timing important? Who released the article? The Council of Wizards and Warlocks cannot be defeated. Nice view up here. Q. The very next day on Saturday, November the 4th, 2017, Saudi Arabia's billionaire Prince Alawid bin Talal was arrested, alongside at least 10 other princes and several government ministers and former ministers. All were caught up in a zealous sweep organized by a new anti-corruption committee, helmed by a 32-year-old Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. 2 days later, on November the 6th, it was reported that the Saudi Crown Prince started the palace power grab against his rivals after Jared Kushner's secret trip to meet him when the two stayed up to 4 a.m. swapping stories. This headline confirms the Q posts from November the 2nd and 3rd, from before the purge happened. Once the arrests happened, Q came back to connect some of the dots in Q-Drop 70, where Q initially highlighted a previous drop about Jared Kushner's meeting in Saudi Arabia. Martial law declared in Saudi Arabia. Why is this relevant? How much money was donated to the Clinton Foundation by Saudi Arabia? How much money was donated to the John McCain Institute by Saudi Arabia? How much money was donated to the Pelosi Foundation? How much money was donated to Chuck Schumer by Saudi Arabia? What other bad actors have been paid by Saudi Arabia? Bribed not just Democrats. Why did the Bush family recently come out against POTUS? Who is good? What are the laws in Saudi Arabia versus the United States for charged criminals? What information might be gained by these detainees? Why is this important? Saudi Arabia first, then the United States. What forces actively deployed in Saudi Arabia? The National Guard? Have faith.
President Trump says there will be no more Mr. Nice Guy when it comes to crime in the nation's capital. As Rebecca Castro reports, he's officially enacting a federal takeover of Washington, D.C.'s police force.
President Trump says it's Liberation Day in D.C. We are taking our capital back, and announced the federal government is taking control of the local police force and deploying the National Guard.
Message!
These, the crumbs, in time will equate to the biggest drops ever disclosed in our history. Remember, disinformation is real. God bless. Alice and Wonderland. The Great Awakening. Q. And later the same day posted Q-Drop 71. Follow Huma. Who connects Hillary Rodham Clinton and the Clinton Foundation to Saudi Arabia? Why is this relevant? Who is the Muslim Brotherhood? Who has ties to the Muslim Brotherhood? Who is Awan? What is the Awan Group? Where do they have offices? Why is this relevant? Define cash laundering. What is the relationship between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan? Why is this relevant? Why would Saudi Arabia provide tens of millions of dollars to United States senior government officials? What does Saudi Arabia obtain in exchange for payment? Why is access important? What happened when Hillary Rodham Clinton lost the election of 2016? How much money was provided to the Clinton Foundation by Saudi Arabia during the 2015-16 campaign? Hillary Rodham Clinton lost. Loss of access, power, control. Does repayment of funds to Saudi Arabia occur? If so, how? Why did Barack Obama send billions in cash to Iran? Why wasn't Congress notified? Why was this classified under state secrets? Who has access to state secrets? Where did the planes carrying the cash depart from and land? Did the planes all land in the same location? How many planes carried the cash? Why is this relevant? What does this have to do with North Korea? What does this have to do with Saudi Arabia and the Clinton Foundation cash donations? What does this have to do with ISIS? What does this have to do with slush funds? Why is Saudi Arabia so vitally important? Follow the money. Who has the money? What is happening in Saudi Arabia today? Why is this relevant? Who was Abdullah bin Abdulaziz? What events transpired directly thereafter? How was POTUS greeted compared to other former United States presidents when in Saudi Arabia? Why is this relevant? What is the meaning of this tradition? What coincidentally was the last tweet sent out by POTUS? Why is this relevant? Was that an instruction of some kind? To who? Why is this relevant? Where was POTUS when that tweet was sent? Why is that relevant? What attack took place in Saudi Arabia as operations were undertaken? Flying objects. What United States operators are currently in Saudi Arabia? Why is this relevant? Questions provide answers. Alice and Wonderland. November the 6th, Q-Post 117. Why was the arrest of Alaweed and others important? How is Alaweed and Barack Obama tied to Huma? Why did Alaweed finance Barack Obama pre-political days? Why did Alaweed finance Barack Obama pre-political days? What is Huma? Define. What book was Barack Obama caught reading? Why was this immediately disregarded as false? What is Post-American World by Fareed Zakaria? Why is this relevant? Why would the President of the United States of America be reading this book? What church did Barack Obama attend as pre-POTUS? Who was Barack Obama's mentor? How is Alaweed and Hillary Rodham Clinton connected? Who was Hillary Clinton's mentor? How is Alaweed and Bush Sr. and Jr. connected? What occurred post 9/11? What war did we enter into? What was the purpose and disclosures given in relation to justification? Who financed 9/11? Why recently are classified 9/11 pages being released? What just occurred in Saudi Arabia? What Freedom of Information Act documents are being publicly released recently? Why is this relevant? What information is contained within these C releases? Why is Christopher Wray important with regards to these releases? What does money laundering mean? What is the single biggest event that can generate many nation-states to pay out billions? Who audits where the money goes? $15,000 for a toothbrush? Reconcile. Why did we attack Iraq? Halliburton. Who are they? What do they specialize in? What is oil field service? Why is this relevant? What senior level political officials are affiliated with Halliburton? What is the primary goal? What is the primary mode of influence that drives corruption? What does money buy? How is this connected to Saudi Arabia? How is this connected to Alaweed? How is this connected to Las Vegas? Q. And then Trump tweeted, "I have great confidence in King Salman and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. They know exactly what they are doing." Q then posted drop 134, which mentioned, example, Alawid Huma Barack Obama Citigroup United States Control, referring to Prince Alawid bin Talal being Citigroup's largest individual shareholder, and also the line, House of Saud US Control, referred to a WikiLeaks document that revealed the giant Wall Street bank Citigroup submitted to the Obama campaign a list of its preferred candidates for cabinet positions in an Obama administration. In most cases, Q can't just tell us exactly what is going to happen, like in the case of the Saudi Purge, so Q drops pieces that can be put together once the event actually happens. Once the pieces are put together, they show that Q knew the event was going to happen beforehand. Future proves past. Q drops are the map when linked together provide the picture, and the picture provides the 40,000-foot view, which is classified. In other words, Q's drops, which are not classified information, when connected allow us to see things that are considered classified, even though Q never gave us classified info. So to recap, Q also accurately predicted the timing of the Saudi Purge. On November the 2nd at 3:06 AM, Q posted, before POTUS departs he will be sending an important message via Twitter. On November the 4th at 8:49 AM, Trump tweets about Saudi Arabia a few hours before leaving the United States for Japan. On November 1st at 11:56 PM, Q posted, a state of temporary military control will be actioned and special operations carried out. Q also said, POTUS will be well insulated, protected on Air Force One while these operations are conducted. On November the 4th at 1:20 PM, Trump departs Hawaii for Japan. While he is on board Air Force One, Saudi Arabia declares martial law and announces the arrests.
Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for more must-see videos.